Hey, we live now, really.
Hey, we live now, really? Really? Hey, welcome in, welcome in. All my beautiful people out there, how we doing? How we doing? I got one question for you. I got one question for real. Can you answer this for me? I'm asking for a friend. Can you really tell me? Can you really tell me if this is real or not? Can you tell me if this is true? Can you tell me? Uh, did you miss me? Hey, because I missed you, man. And hey, it's a lot we got to talk about. It's a lot we got to get into. And hey, without further ado, man, it's only right that we get into it and talk about it all. All right, today we got a gems packed episode for you. All right, yes, you're probably wondering why is he streaming on Really Gems Live right now? Why we ain't on Golden Gems Media? Why we ain't over there? Well, we on punishment right now. We got copyrighted. YouTube, they said we're gonna sit you down for a little bit. YouTube said they're gonna sit me down for a little bit, and I at first, I was upset, I was angry, I was mad, but after a while, I decided, you know what, it's best I just take it on the chin. It's best that I just leave it at that. I take the wins when I get the wins, and I take the losses when I get the losses. So it's okay. Okay, we won't feel this way about it. We won't feel that way about it. We just will be neutral. Okay? Okay. But without further ado, how you doing today? All right. I hope you're doing well. Because I need you to do me a favor. I need you before we get started. Can you do me this one favor, please? Please. Ask him for a friend. For real. Can you send this to your mama, your daddy, your best friend of another friend, lit Johnny, lit Timmy? Don't forget about little Susie too. Send this to everybody. When I say everybody, everybody you know. You understand me? Because I need you to show me some love. I need you to get these gems for yourself, but not only for yourself. You got to send this over to little Susie, little Johnny. Send this over to all of them. You feel me? Including your mama, your daddy, your best friend. Don't forget about little Johnny once again. Don't forget about little Susie. And don't forget about little Josh. He just moved down the street, up the corner, around the block. All right, send us to him too. But without further ado, we got to get into it. It's a lot we got to get into. All right, it's a lot. When I say a lot, I mean a lot. You understand me? But without further ado, man, I just want to say, hey, I hope you're doing well. I hope life is good. You know, and I hope you're ready for a Gem's what is he packed episode today, man, because we got a lot to get into. We will, of course, as you can see by the title, we will be talking about Nolan Wells and his story and the new developments that's occurring within that story. And then we also will get into LeBron's decision, because he's expected to make that decision probably tomorrow, Friday, because it was expected to be sometime this week, and the decision ain't coming today. So the decision gotta come tomorrow, or it's gonna come on Friday. All right, the decision coming this week though. It's being reported that the decision for LeBron is coming this week. Don't tell me, or don't ask me. Actually, don't ask me how I know. Just know I know. All right, LeBron decision is coming this week. All right, just know I'm plugged in like that. All right, we got a lot that we got to get into. We got a lot that we got to touch on. We got a lot that we got to talk about. All right, we're gonna touch on the Nolan Noels. I said Noels. I don't know why I keep on saying Noels. We're gonna touch on the Nolan Wells topic first. All right, after we touch on the Nolan Wells topic, we're gonna go ahead and touch on LeBron. We're gonna touch on the NBA. Got a couple NFL topics for you too. This episode is gonna be a gems. When I say a gems with a capital Z, yes, a gems packed episode, man. We got a lot we got to get into, and we got a lot we got to talk about. All right, so once again, I hope you blessed out here. I hope life is good. I hope that you good. And at the end of the day, hey, did you miss me? Because I missed you. All right, but without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. For one, I want to tell you, hey, no matter what you're going through, no matter what you got going on, just know that you're gonna be all right. Just know God gonna continue to work it out in your favor. You understand me? No matter what's going on in your life, it will be okay, my friend. Okay? Okay? Do we have an understanding? Yes? Yes. Okay. But on a serious note though, it's being reported that Nolan Wells and his family, they met with the DA today. And with them meeting with the DA today, a lot of, I ain't gonna say a lot, but some important information came through. And we will get into what was that important information. We will get into some of the logistics of what's going on within the case. And we will get into the real, nitty and gritty about this case, and is it really being investigated the right way? Is Nolan and his family going to get answers that they deserve? That is a topic at hand. Is this case being handled with care? Is this case being handled just like any other case? We're going to get into it, and we're going to talk about it. So without further ado, unless you've been living under a rock, unless you've been outside not paying attention to what's going on around the world, I'm going to go ahead and get you right. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure that you know what's been going on out here in this world, in these streets, and everything else. You understand me? All right. So first, let's get into it. All right. Updated video. We're going to talk about it. This is coming from a conversation to where, not a conversation, actually. This is coming from a situation to where Nolan Wells, his mom, his family, the lawyers, they all met with the DA today to get some further information. And this was one of the things that I want to touch on first. And I want to talk about first because where we left off was we left off talking about Javion, his friends, this story coming out. But now we hearing from the family again. And now we hearing some of the things that's not happening within this case and some of the things that has been happening and going on with this case. And you be the judge and you tell me, do you think something's fishy? Do you think something's going on? Well, guess what? We're going to go ahead and find out and we're going to talk about it. Let's go. Get into it.
Quickly, just curious about the dynamic that you guys have had, Christine and Elmore, with law enforcement up until this point. Have you all been able to speak with the sheriff, any of the lead investigators since what happened last week?
So that was actually clarified in today's meeting. The DA's office wanted to take over that communications because they do have a victim advocate, which I appreciate. But of course, that wasn't what she, took responsibility and accountability for. But we were not communicated with that information. So for us, like I said before, the last time we actually spoke to someone with the sheriff's department was last Tuesday. That was via text message that I initiated, just asking for an update. So that's the biggest thing is, I appreciate that she took accountability for saying, hey, that was actually our doing. But, we have a setup now. And so the hope is that we'll have that open lines of communication.
So you feel like this was useful
and
today?
Attorney Hertz has a comment on that there.
Let me just say that under the law in Mississippi, a victim is entitled within, I think it's 72 hours to get an incident report.
Okay, I keep seeing comments like this. Love Carpe, but it's so expensive.
Whoa. YouTube. That's how y'all gonna do me? Hey, YouTube on BS all the way today, early today. But let's go back a little bit because I want to go back to when she first came on the mic and when she first started talking. So we're gonna replay this clip and then I gotta pause it because I was doing something else. But I'm gonna lock in. My bad. That's on me. Forgive me. All right, let's get back into it. Oh my goodness. Holy smokes. What's going on with your clips? What's going on with the clips, Ready? What's going on with the clips? I don't know. All right, one more time. Let's try it again.
The DA's office wanted to take over that communications because they do have a victim advocate, which I appreciate. But of course, that wasn't what she, took responsibility and accountability for. But we were not communicated with that information. So for us, like I said before, the last time we actually spoke to someone with the sheriff's department was last Tuesday. That was via text message that I initiated, just asking for an update. So that's the biggest thing is, I appreciate that she took accountability for saying, hey, that was actually our doing. Just asking for an update. The last time we actually spoke to someone with the sheriff's department was last Tuesday.
The last time she actually spoke to someone at the sheriff's department was last Tuesday. How is it the following Tuesday? Well, actually, it's not even the following Tuesday. It's Wednesday, a week and a day later, that you're finally getting another update about your own son, about your own kid, and what happened. How is that possible? How? It's a week that has gone by, and they're not giving you any updates. And there's going to be something critical and key that the next lawyer is going to come up here and he's going to say. Because in the state of Mississippi, You have a right as a family of a victim's family. So someone who, obviously died tragically or whatever it is. You have a right to the 72-hour investigation details. And she had to reach out to them first on Tuesday last week. And they didn't reach out to her to update her. Okay. Let's continue though. I'm gonna let them finish and then I'm gonna go ahead and get into it.
That was via text message that I initiated, just asking for an update. So that's the biggest thing is, I appreciate that she took accountability for saying, hey, that was actually our doing. But, we have a setup now. And so the hope is that we'll have that open lines of communication.
So you feel like this was useful
And
today?
Attorney Hertz has a comment on that there.
Let me just say that under the law in Mississippi, a victim is entitled within, I think it's 72 hours to get an incident report and to have certain information shared. It's been more than 72 hours.
So let's repeat that one more time for the people in the back.
Entitled within, under the law in Mississippi.
Under the law in Mississippi, the law. What happened?
A victim is entitled within, I think it's 72 hours to get an incident report and to have certain information shared.
So within 72 hours of a victim or someone losing their life, they're entitled to get a victim's report. So basically a reporting on what happened or any details that may have happened to a victim. Say if someone has passed away or something has happened to someone, you are entitled in the state of Mississippi within 72 hours to get a victim's report. And they haven't got one.
It's been more than 72 hours, and that's part of the meeting here today to start getting the incident report and all that information that we came here to collect, as well as listen to the district attorney and what she had to say.
Did you get that report?
No, not yet. We are working with them to say there need to be better communications with the clients and so forth. So
what do you mean it needs to be better communication? It must be better communication because that's bullshit. Excuse my French. I got to call a spade, though. Y'all know how I am. How is it 72 hours and you're just now getting a report about what happened to your child? 72 hours is a law in Mississippi that you're supposed to get that report, and a week and some days later, they still haven't got the report. Their son was found missing. What was that? Last week, Monday? Was it last week, Monday? Hold on. Their son was found missing last week, Monday. So that means they should have got that report by when? At least Thursday, the latest. The latest. And then she had to reach out to y'all to get more information about her kid and her son when y'all the ones doing the investigation, when you're the ones who should be updating her, keeping her calm, keeping her at bay, keeping her, I want to say informed with the proper information that, will just ease a parent after they just lost their child. It's a law in Mississippi saying you have to get that to them within 72 hours. So y'all already violating laws. Y'all already are not. Come on, man. I know there's a lot of people that's going to say this, a lot of people that's going to say that, but dog, come on, dog. All right. Can we really talk about it? Can we really get into it? But let's finish the video.
the big things that we know, there's going to be a grand jury into the death of Nolan Wells. And number two, that we're going to have a mutual inspection of Nolan's cell phone. We just want to make sure everybody else's cell phone is also being downloaded.
So a mutual. So what does he mean by that? Let's replay that.
We just want to make sure mutual inspection of Nolan's cell phone.
So he's saying, and he said this in an earlier clip, there's going to be a mutual inspection of Nolan's cell phone. A mutual inspection of Nolan's cell phone. What does that mean? That means that their investigation team is going to come along with the team and the investigation team over at the sheriff's department in Jackson County. They're going to come together and they're going to discover the details of this phone at the same time. So if one side can't say that they didn't get this and they line, one side can't say they didn't get this in their line. No, they're going to come together and they're going to do it simultaneously at the same time, because you have two investigations going on. One investigation being done independently, one investigation being done by the county that this occurred in, which is rightfully so. Everybody's wondering, oh, how come they didn't turn over the phone? How come they didn't give them their phone? How come they didn't give her their son? Because they didn't give them they didn't give their phone. They didn't give their son's phone to the authorities, rightfully so. Because why give my phone to the authorities when they're already saying there's, initially there's no foul play. There's no signs of foul play. Initially, they're trying to just rule it as a suicide or drowning and move on. I don't trust y'all. You didn't even interview nobody. You didn't investigate anything. And you're already saying, well, from the looks of it, it looks like there was no foul play. This looks like a cut and close case. Why would I trust y'all with my son's device? So you can tell me, oh, there was nothing on it. Nah, we got the device. And we going to share the information with you simultaneously at the same time. So whatever we find out, y'all going to find out. You're going to have somebody there. We're going to have somebody there. And we're going to find out together what's on this device. And that is the right way to do it. Let's clap it up for them. Thank God. But now we got to get into some other people's reactions. And Don Lemon, he has done a great job covering the story, has done a great job with just delivering much needed information. I love his coverage. I'm not really the biggest Don Lemon fan, but at the same time, their coverage is key to this investigation because, well, not key to the investigation because he's staying up to date with it like I'm staying up to date with it. But he's getting experts. He's getting people to come on and talk about their experience with similar cases and things like this that they have gone through, right? So with their experience in these cases, John, hey, that boy been in it since the 90s. So SO to Don Lemon, hey, I don't care what community you a part of. I don't care who you ride with, who you lay with at night. All I care about the factual information that you're reporting. So keep doing a hell of a job, Don. Let's get into it, though. Right, once again, let's hear about it.
Just curious about the dynamic that you guys have had, Christina and Elmore, with law enforcement up until this point. Have you all been able to speak with the sheriff, any of the lead investigators since what happened last week?
So that was actually clarified in today's meeting. The DA's office wanted to take over that communications because they do have a victim advocate, which I appreciate. But of course, that wasn't what she, took responsibility and accountability for. But we were not communicated with that information. So for us, like I said before, the last time we actually spoke to someone with the sheriff's department was last Tuesday. That was via text message that I initiated, just asking for an update. So that's the biggest thing is, I appreciate that she took accountability for saying, hey, that was actually our doing. But, we have a setup now. And so the hope is that we'll have that open lines of communication.
What do you mean our doing? It should have been any of our doing because y'all should have been keeping her updated since the beginning. But let's hear Don and his people talk about it.
Lee, last Tuesday, over more than a week ago. Come on now.
I mean, families really suffer. This family, not no exception. From the process, from the moment that a family learns, however they learn via phone call, with an officer visiting that their loved one is dead, they don't have the body yet. And when you're a mom, the first thing you're thinking is how do I get back to my son, to my boy? And families like Nolan's have been forced to wait days at a time before the body is released to them. And during that time, they should be hearing from the district attorney's office. They should be hearing from that victim liaison's office. She was gracious, very gracious, just now saying, they took ownership and they introduced us to the process of how to communicate. But that kind of gap from the beginning of this investigation, when we know this is a national story, and this is the really frustrating part for that mom, and I've heard her say this. I've talked to Ben about this. The city, the municipality, the Jackson County is more anxious to respond to media, more anxious to get a statement out on the news networks than they are to correspond with the family and to even complete the investigation when that should be the priority. They're more concerned about how they look, about what may have been said about them negatively, and they don't focus enough on we have a dead 18-year-old in our jurisdiction.
Don, it's important that the public understand, and I'll say this as a former prosecutor.
Talk to him.
Those victim liaisons offices, I've worked with them both as a prosecutor and then also as a civil rights attorney. Lee, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but oftentimes they just serve as crisis control and PR management for the police.
Yeah.
They are intended to look like the police is doing something in terms of being in touch with victims and their families. And I'm not necessarily saying that they aren't. But what I'm saying is at the end of the day, remember that they work for law enforcement. They are not independent. They are not unbiased in terms of how their job is to keep families calm. Their job is to do enough so that families don't go crazy in the media and start airing out everything that's happening behind the scenes. Their job is to sort of serve as the pacifier. And I don't think that the public understands that because they haven't always existed. And so in terms of them existing now, the public may think, oh, this is a step in the right direction. Well, it's a dressed up way of trying to keep these families from being too angry so that the public's outrage does not boil over. So please do not go for that pump fake if you are watching and listening and saying, oh, well, they have a victims advocate liaison. That must mean that, they care about these families being informed. That position is often intended to be a smokescreen for the department to quell any notion of outrage from the public.
Hit it right on the head. Hit it right on the head. So, yeah, you might say, oh, that's such a beautiful thing. That's such a great thing that they're giving them somebody that they can have personal contact with and that they can talk to on a regular basis. That is awesome. That's amazing. The sheriff's department, they're really doing their due diligence. They're really helping out this family. Yeah, you think, but it's not that. It's not. It's not. Should we let him? Yeah, let's let him finish. We're going to let him finish. Come on.
Yeah, look, Lee, I know you mentioned you said that they are concerned about how they look and giving information to the press. They're only doing it for some. I haven't seen a black press. I said that this morning. I have not seen black press. I haven't seen a Joy Reid. I haven't seen a Don Lemon. I haven't seen a Roland Martin. I have not seen any of that. But what I have seen is a white reporter on Good Morning America, a couple of white local reporters getting the information. And the reason that matters is because this whole story, the whole reason that it's blowing up is because it's about a young black man with all white people, and he disappears and then ends up dead. And for them, if they don't understand the optics of that, then they don't even know what year we live in if they don't get that.
Right. And that's exactly it, Don. It's not that they are not speaking to the media because it'll corrupt the investigation, but they're picking and choosing which media they're going to engage in, and they're trying to control the narrative. And it is not the responsibility of the people investigating the potential crime to control the narrative. It's their job to get to the truth no matter where it goes. And that's the real concern here, that you have a prosecutor's office that is going to present to a grand jury. I keep hearing this discussion about this case going to a grand jury as if it's some neutral body. If the prosecutor has evidence of a crime, they can pursue it in the grand jury and they can get criminal indictments. But we need a motivated prosecutor. Prosecutors are not neutral individuals who don't have a responsibility to aggressively prosecute crimes in their jurisdiction, to investigate the crimes, to follow the facts wherever it takes.
That's a fact.
Yeah. I want you to stand by, gentlemen. I want to get a word in from our sponsors. We have lots more to discuss.
Hey, we don't do sponsors, my friend. We don't do sponsors. You know that. If we ain't getting paid, we don't know parts of it, John. Don. But we're going to let them finish, y'all. We're going to continue this because I got a couple more videos that I want to get into and I want to talk about and touch on myself. But let's let them finish.
That I do what I do is because I want people to have a voice and a platform. Okay. So if they will do this in a case, treat a family like this, a case that is this high profile, imagine what they're doing to someone who doesn't. Imagine what they're doing to the people who don't have a Ben Crump, who don't have journalists speaking out on their behalf, trying to educate people that something is not right here. Don't know if it's accidental or not, but in the process of the way that they're dealing with it, something is not sitting right, as we say. Imagine what they do to people who don't have that type of agency, Charles.
I think that's such an important point, Don. And I think the issue with that point is that too many of us dismiss these situations as if they might be one-offs. Not understanding that these are not the exception to the rule. They're the exception that proves the rule, which is that there's a two-tiered system of justice in America, which is that we do not see the same types of resources and effort exerted when it comes to victims who look like me, you, and Lee in all the cases that we should.
Somebody said it. Somebody said it. Drop another bomb for him. Somebody said it. Yeah, there's two justice systems in America. One for them and one for us. It's facts. It's facts. Didn't say any lies. Let's let them finish, though.
Problem. Justice does not work the same way for everyone. And put plain and simply, when people stop and actually realize, when they realize the fact that, wow, all of this is happening in the face of public pressure, in the face of the fact that people know about the case, in the face of them having competent legal representation, and this is still happening. That's when people should really ask themselves, well, what does it mean for someone who does not have that? Because if there's nothing that this case should make us do at this point, with all that we don't know, with all that is still remained to be uncovered and found out and investigated, this should prompt a ruthless and vigilant interrogation of the system. It should prompt a meticulous interrogation and demand of the process, which is something that I continue to stress as someone who's worked on both sides, because now people, if they did not before, absolutely are seeing how flawed it is and how it does not work. And at the end of the day, even if I were to accept that for Nolan Xavier Wells, this was somehow an anomaly in terms of how it was handled, which it is not, that's still one black boy too many. That's still one victim too many. That's still one person. That's still one unalived person.
Talk to him.
Too many to have a shoddy investigation where law enforcement has not employed its absolute best to get answers for this family and for the public.
Lee, you know what it is like when people don't have this agency, and then everything goes wrong, and then they end up having to reach out to a Lee Merritt or to a Ben Crump and others.
Yeah, we've been here before. So when you ask, what happens when you don't get this kind of attention, it gets even worse. There's some high profile cases that people have discussed in the Black community for years. I remember a young man came up missing briefly and then was discovered rolling in mats. His name is eluding me right now. But his body was discovered in a position that clearly indicated that his body had been disfigured by whoever was responsible for his death, and it was brushed under the rug.
Man, what a beautiful family, man. But goddamn, that's so unfortunate, man. 18 years old, bro. Whole life in front of him. And going just like that, bro. Fucking sickening, man. Sickening. Now let me bring in another perspective. Got another video for you. We're going to come back to this video, though. We're going to come back to this video with Don Lemon. All right? Come back to this video, but let's go ahead and get into this one.
Okay, this is what happened. They all went to the island to party. Then they came back to another party at a pool. Then they killed the black dude at the pool. Then they took his body back to the island. The sheriffs know it. The judges know it. And everybody involved knows it. But now what are they using? They're using Darvo. What is Darvo?
Darvo. What is it? Denial, attack, reverse, victim, and offend. I did not yell at you. You're always making things up to make me look bad. Stop blaming me for everything and playing the victim.
Arvo is deny, attack, and reverse the accuser and the victim, right? Now they're claiming, oh, the judge is a victim, right? Oh, we're victims now. We're getting, it's all fucking bullshit, man. You know what's going to come out of this Nolan Wells murder story? How corrupt our courts and law enforcement are. That's what's going to come out, because no matter what the Illuminati does going forward, it will all be exposed. The awakening is happening, right? It is the apocalypse, which means your eyes open. It's not Armageddon. So you watch what happens with this Nolan Wells story. First of all, this is a satanic ritual to try and start a race war. That's it. And now all the lies are coming out. Oh, we just found his body washed up on the beach. No, his body was beat to shit, man. Right? So what are we really learning here, people? Yeah. Did they kill a black man? Yes. Why? To start a race war. Why? Because they're fucking corrupt, and that's what the Illuminati does, man. Just like when I called, because this whole property right here.
Allegedly, though. Allegedly. All right, allegedly. I just want to say that. Allegedly. Should we let him finish? Y'all messing with him? Should we let him finish? No, we ain't gonna let him finish. But I just wanted to show that. I just wanted to show a little bit of that clip. I didn't mean to show the whole video, though, because he hit a good point. Now, some things, the photo, the picture, the other videos that's surfing around about him getting in a fight, a lot of things. It's a lot of misinformation out there right now. And I told y'all from the get-go, we will only know. We will only god dang know. We will only know when the true autopsy come out, and also when the evidence comes out. That's the only way we're going to find out the truth. The only way. Another video from my man. You see him. Let's talk about
the mom who went to retrieve the phone. And she spoke out to my dear friend and former colleague, Laura Coates, last night. Watch.
Christine called me and told me, hey, where are the boys? Nolan hasn't been heard from since such and such time. Where are your boys? I said, well, Javon is with his girlfriend, and I just spoke with Jalen, and they are headed to downtown, which I was literally getting ready to get in the shower to go downtown as well. She said, well, Nolan hasn't been. So I instantly called with Christine on the phone, Javon. Javon said, no, he hadn't seen Nolan since early on the island. And he was like, what? Are y'all serious? It was like, yes. And so Christine intervened in the conversation, said, Nolan has not been heard from since he left the island. So Javon was like, well, that's when I seen it. I haven't seen it since then. Again, everybody go their separate ways. So I then hang up from Javon because obviously there's nothing he can say to tell me anything. So then Jalen, I call him. Jalen did not answer the phone. Christine again is on the phone. Jalen did not answer the phone. LeBaron, he didn't answer the phone. I called LeBaron, which is their other friend, LeBaron Broomfield. He answered. He said, Jalen is in the gas station. Hold on. So he said, hey, Jalen, Mom on the phone. So he was like, Jalen, what's up, Mom? What's going on? I was like, hey, have y'all heard from Nolan? They said, no, we have not heard from Nolan.
But where was the phone?
So I was like, well, okay. So that's when we started tracking the phone. Well, for Christine, it said one place, but for them on Snapchat, it showed another place. So that's the place we went to. And it showed that everybody that was in the house, it was like a lot of people there. Like I'm not familiar with all the kids. I only know like one or two there, but it showed that the phone was at what a lot of people were at. So that's how we knew where to go to. We went there. They were all there. They were sitting there, lights off, watching TV.
She said, sitting there, lights off, watching TV. What? Interesting.
Did they immediately give you the phone? Because knowing that phone was there.
It took about 15. They did. They gave me the phone, but it took about 15 minutes to get the phone. Because I even asked, I'm like, did y'all have to walk back to Horn Island to get the phone? Or like, where's the phone? Because it took so long when they said it was when Wyatt told me it was in his truck, it took him so long to get the phone back to me. So
Christine,
when they brought the phone back,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tashima. I want to hear that.
when they brought the phone, after I said something about it, he was like, well, she's going to get it. I was like, who's going to get it? He's like, the girl's going to get the phone.
So who's going to get it? The girl's going to get the phone. Interesting. So with that being said, you see how the story is just not adding up. It's not. Too many contradictions. Too many this way, this turn, this. Like Snapchat, you got to understand, Snapchat, the location that it shows you where the people are while they're active on the app or the last time that they were active on the app. It showed you where they're at on the app while they're active on the app. But would it make sense if that is what they allegedly did before they gave him the phone back, was delete all his snaps and delete everything? That's why it took so long, because they were trying to go through his phone because they forgot and they didn't think that somebody was going to come get it that same night. Who knows? Who knows? Lots of twists and turns. Lots of different things going on with this story. But I want to show y'all. All this information, because you got to understand, man. You got to understand. Gotta understand. Crazy out here, man. Let's get back to this.
If there was, we've been dealing with a high-profile case again, just in the Black community. When there's a young man who dies in our community, and I'm talking about in American society, we're supposed to respond a certain way. We saw that I live in the community of Frisco, Texas, and a young man named Austin Metcalf was stabbed to death by another young man named Carmelo Anthony.
We've covered that. We've been covering that case here. So if you can offer us anything on that, Lee, thank you. We would love to hear it.
Yes, sir. Well, we saw the American legal system do what the American legal system does. It is aggressive when investigating crime, particularly for protected individuals like minors in a community where we're not used to that kind of violence. And so, because Austin Metcalf was a valuable member of our community who was protected, we saw an aggressive prosecution. And of course, I would argue an overly aggressive prosecution. We saw a murder indictment immediately for a young Black man appear at the time. We've seen this young man, Nolan's friend, or a person who's held himself out as Nolan's friend, say, you want to be careful about rushing to conclusions. It could be that, his cause of death was something accidental and maybe there's no criminal element involved. The Carmelo Anthony family was not given that kind of benefit of the doubt from any aspect of the community. It was an immediate charge, immediate conviction, the highest bond that I've seen placed on any murder case in North Texas, and a rush conviction in one of the most severe sentences that I've seen for murder, 35 years. But
you see what happened with that case, right? See how quick it went? See how everybody was Johnny on the spot? Charged him, put him in jail, set the bill. Come on, bro. If you don't know about the Carmelo Anthony story, we didn't touch on it. We didn't hit on it too much. But the retrial, promise you we're going to cover it. Promise you we're going to get into it. I promise you. Facts. But let's continue.
That is a reflection of how aggressive our criminal justice system is when properly motivated. The problem is we don't see that kind of motivation for every member of our community, and one of the least protected members of our community are people like Nolan Wells.
I do want to.
I'm being told by a friend of the show, who's also a friend of yours.
Thanks.
Monique Presley just texted me and says Kendrick Johnson.
Kendrick Johnson, thank you, Monique.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Monique.
Thanks, Monique.
I do want to say, and this is something that the public needs to understand in terms of why it's important to be patient. We have seen, not often enough, but we have seen cases where the aggression of law enforcement to respond to the public has led to mistakes in an investigation that have prevented a conviction.
That's a fact.
And so the one thing that I want us to keep in mind is the long game here. And the long game, even as we are right now clamoring for answers and clamoring for understanding, as we should be with respect to Nolan Wells, is that whomever is responsible is held accountable in a court of law. And that means that we want to make sure that when and if an arrest is made, that it sticks.
Yeah.
The grand jury is a part of this process. And yes, as a prosecutor, you can likely get an indictment. But the most important thing is that you want to get a conviction. Our community has suffered far too many times in seeing someone get indicted, someone get arrested, and not get convicted at trial because the evidence didn't stick. And so I want us to understand the importance of patience in this moment, not saying that that means we are any less vigilant, but that we are continuously disciplined in putting the amount of expectation on this process so that when we get to a point of accountability, that accountability does not elude us.
Facts. You're right. Ain't telling no lie. Because that's the thing. Ain't no need to rush. Ain't no need to jump out the window. Let it play itself out. Because what's done in the dark always comes to the light. But I want to get into this.
In the U.S. now, we have new reporting tonight in that mysterious death of an 18-year-old Nolan Wells. For the first time tonight, we now hear from one of the last people to see him alive. Aaron Katursky in Mississippi.
Tonight, we're hearing from a friend of Nolan Wells who was with the 18-year-old on that isolated barrier island off the Mississippi Gulf Coast July 4th, the last day Wells was seen alive.
It breaks our heart that we can't even fully grieve our friend because we're scared.
Tristan Shepard.
We can't really see. I'm not gonna tell nobody how to grieve, and I'm also ain't gonna tell nobody how to, talk to the media. And under these circumstances, I ain't gonna really rush to judgment. But just the way that this man was talking, I don't trust him. And to be quite honest with you, I really, 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 really don't believe him, if I'm being honest. And this original interview, I think Tristan was interviewed by ABC and then also TMZ. And TMZ, they interviewed Javion, they interviewed the football coach, and they also interviewed who? My man Tristan Shepard. All black people. How come none of Tristan's white friends have been interviewed or has been out talking or making any public statements? I'm just asking for a friend. But anyway, let's focus on this.
Shepard says he and his friends are now getting threats, and he declined to speak with us on camera. But he addressed this social media.
How you decline to speak to them on camera when they posting your picture right there like they don't know who you are? Like, it doesn't make a difference. I really think, if I'm being honest with you, it was somebody else who was talking, not Tristan Shepard. But it probably was him. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's just speculation. Maybe it's just me.
Media video that's part of the investigation. Shepard says he's the one heard arguing from the boat, not Wells.
That's the video I'm referring to. That's me yelling.
Shepard says he took a boat back from Horn Island in the late afternoon, but Wells stayed behind with a girl he had met. Wells did not have his phone, but his friend tells us that's not unusual while swimming.
When Nolan got in the water, he put his phone on the dash, also with probably other 15 phones.
His parents say Nolan Wells went nowhere without his phone, but on July 4th, he left it behind in the boat. We're in about 2-3 feet of water, and so people hop over the edge and swim to shore.
Nolan Wells! But that's the thing. If See, that's the number one question, dog. If I'm gonna stay back with this girl who I just met the same day, I'm gonna ride back with her family and them. Why wouldn't I go get my phone off the boat before they left? Why would I let my friends leave me on this island by myself with this girl I just met without my phone? That's the number one question. If nothing else gets answered in this case, if we don't get any more answers from anybody or anything, the number one question is, why did his phone get left on a boat, and why did his friends have his phone, and how come his phone wasn't found on him? How come the friends didn't throw the phone away? What, like, you really think an 18-year-old gonna leave his phone on a boat? And then two, yeah, like, maybe if y'all was going to the same place, all right, you ride back with them, I'll meet up with y'all over there. Why would I leave my phone though? No 18-year-old kid gonna leave their phone on a boat, bruh. Especially when they stand back with a shorty, because you got to update the homies. You got to let them know what happened, what's going on. All right, I'll be over there in a little bit. I'll let y'all know whenever I finish up over here or whenever I get back. Why would I just leave my phone, though? Why wouldn't I go get it from the boat and then y'all take off and leave and I'll stay here? That is the number one question. Let's finish this video, though. My bad, y'all. My bad. Be patient. Be patient. Patience is key always. You understand? You understand?
The community is clamoring for answers.
Are you on any timetable here?
I think it's important that we don't put ourselves on a timetable. It's important to be diligent in gathering all the facts. That's what the family deserves.
Yeah, it's important that y'all don't put yourselves on the timetable, but it's also equally important that y'all make sure that you get the incident report that was supposed to be given to the family after 72 hours. You make sure that they get that incident report, and you make sure that you're updating the family on a regular basis. Because if it was you, if the roles was reversed and you lost your kid, when you want to be updated on a regular basis, when do you want all the information that is possible at your disposal if you just lost your child? Just asking for a friend. Just stating a fact. Just asking. So yes, I want Jackson County to take their time, but also I want you to have a little pep in your step.
We're also learning tonight, David, the local district attorney is involved in the case, though so far there's no evidence to suggest what happened to Nolan Wells involved a crime. David.
Our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky, tonight in Mississippi. Thank you. Back here in the U.S. now, we have new reporting tonight in that mysterious death of an 18-year-old Nolan Wells. For the first time tonight, we now hear from one of the last people to see him alive. Aaron Katursky in Mississippi.
Tonight, we're hearing from a friend of Nolan Wells who was with the 18-year-old on that isolated barrier island off the Mississippi Gulf Coast July 4th, the last day Wells was seen alive.
It breaks our heart that we can't even fully grieve our friend because we're scared.
Trayston Shepard says he and his friends are now getting threats, and he declined to speak with us on camera. But he addressed this social media video that's part of the investigation. Shepard says he's the one heard arguing from the boat, not Wells.
That's the video I'm referring to. That's me yelling.
Shepard says he took a boat back from Horn Island in the late afternoon, but Wells stayed behind with a girl he had met. Wells did not have his phone, but his friend tells us that's not unusual while swimming.
When Nolan got in the water, he put his phone on the dash, also with probably other 15 phones.
His parents say Nolan Wells went nowhere without his phone, but on July 4th, he left it behind in the boat. We're in about 2-3 feet of water, and so people hop over the edge.
Why would he leave his phone? Why would an 18-year-old leave his phone on the boat? That's all I want to know. The only thing that I want to know. Like, seriously. Why would he leave his phone? You just met a girl. Your friends are about to leave. Hey, let me get my phone off the boat before y'all leave. Simple. No matter if you was drinking or intoxicated. And then, if you talking to a girl, how come you wouldn't have your phone on you, especially if y'all just met? You get her number, get her Instagram or something, you know? I'm just saying. These are questions that need to be answered, man. They might not be answered tomorrow, the next day, a year from now, but who knows? But those are common questions that need to be answered. Why wouldn't he have his phone? Hey, put comment in the chat. Why don't you think he had his phone? Why don't y'all think he went back and grabbed his phone? That is the number one question that needs to be answered in this investigation. Dead serious. That's the only thing I want to know. The only thing we need to know. Man, oh man. It's difficult, man. It's difficult. The story is different. So let's continue on. Let's finish this video.
I want to talk about some of the misinformation with this. And if you guys just have a few moments, give me 1 minute. I'm back with you guys. I'm going to get a word in from our sponsors. Okay, I have a question.
Nah, you don't got no question for me. You ain't paying me, dog. You ain't finna get my audience, ask them some questions. What? Come on, man. You ain't paying us no advertising money. You ain't finna just sell my people something now. Come on now. I ain't gonna do y'all like that, right, chat? All right, let's get into it though.
And how do you combat that in this day and age? You're very media savvy, Charles.
You're talking about combating.
How do we combat that in this day and age?
You can't.
When you say we, I need you to be more specific, because I think that what happens is everybody has different interests, and there are people who benefit from the confusion. I was talking earlier about the fact that it becomes easier to dismiss everything when things are going in different directions. And so for those of us who are either looking for the truth or wanting the truth, it's important that we are very, very mindful. It's funny you mentioned Monique. She and I have gotten into it at different points about being mindful of sticking to just the facts that we know that have been verified. You
didn't watch our show yesterday because Monique she lit us up yesterday. You know Monique. She don't
yes,
hold
I
back.
mean, and she and I have had that happen before. But what I can say is, in a situation like this, we must be very, very careful, because a lie will make it all the way around the world before the truth has a chance to get out of bed. And in this situation, it is so delicate and fragile in understanding, separating what's true versus what's speculation. Like, for example, the autopsy conversation. I have literally seen what I know now to be AI made up autopsy reports from the death of Nolan Wells. That has not been reported by any major news outlet. That has not been confirmed or reported by the attorney from the family, and that has not been reported or confirmed by the sheriff's office in Mississippi. All of this is an example of where misinformation becomes an issue. And so if you are someone who's invested in the facts, it is important that you do what I and Monique have been doing, which is telling people, slow your roll, check your sources, because that's how information spreads. And I know that we are interested because we suspect that there is a narrative that may be at play. And there's no reason that we should ignore the idea of that narrative. But to Lee's point, it is not any of our place in this point to try to create that narrative. If that narrative exists, it will surface through the facts. We have to be vigilant in our pursuit of the facts rather than trying to make the facts fit a particular narrative. Yeah. And I think that understanding that is really important in this moment. I'm not a journalist, Don. I say this all the time. But like, if there's anything that I could learn from, and that we could all learn from, principles of journalism, because I did take intro to journalism, is the importance of remembering objectivity and going where the facts take us, rather than trying to craft a story and making the facts fit the path that we want it to.
Charles, I appreciate it. That's why I didn't say journalist Charles Coleman. I said you are media.
Brian Rose, GC Wire. I There's been a lot of misinformation that's been spread online, especially the pool picture that was shared by you, and you had said that.
Well, I didn't share it. I reposted it. We're reposting everything. Let's make it clear. We're reposting everything because we're trying to get people to come in and call.
Yeah.
And so we've said from the beginning,
Let 'em know
we're
why.
in a ferocious search for the truth. And so things out there, we are trying to post, ask people, do you know something about this? Let us know. Just because we repost does not mean that we authenticate anything. Look at our social media. We have always been very careful to say this is a repost, and we almost always give a declaration that that's what it is, a repost. And so we want people to continue to call about everything, videos, whatever interactions they saw. And thank God, we are getting dozens of people calling every day saying, I was on Horn Island. This is what I saw. I know these individuals. This is what we know. They said, we understand the sheriff's investigation has hundreds of people calling too. And so the hope is that when this is presented to the grand jury, all relevant witnesses and evidence will be presented to them so that we can have a fair and impartial investigation into the death of Nolan Wells. We were very honest and candid with the district attorney, and she was honest and candid with us.
So Lee, you get the point, and I understand what he's saying. And then, but there is a responsibility on the media as well. When we saw the picture, we reported it not as fact, and I said specifically, you should not take this or report it as fact. This is what is out there. The date was posted is not an authentication date that it was, that's not necessarily the date that the photograph was taken, right? Just because it was posted that day. But anyway, again, that's a whole misinformation thing. And I think that where there's a vacuum, people fill the void, right? With something. And I think when I say that there needs to be more transparency, see, this is about transparency. Ben is talking transparency there. For me, it's about transparency. When I say that they need to be more diligent responding to the public and to the media, I mean, I just feel like there should be a cadence every day. We're going to give a press conference at 12 or at 3. And if we can't make it, we're in the middle of investigation, then we will let you know. And even if we don't have anything, we'll say, hey, look, nothing new has come in, but we're still asking people to share. And that gives at least the veneer of transparency, which is what the family is asking for, and the thing that the public has concern about. You take care of a couple birds with one stone. That's just my feeling.
Yeah, I think that's...
And you bat down the misinformation that way. If something comes up, then you have an opportunity to respond to it. There's a scheduled time. If reporters call your office, you say, the secretary or the comms person, whoever answers is, they'll address that at noon. They'll address that at 6 every single day, even if there's nothing. Some days we'll get in front of the camera. Sometimes if we don't have anything, we may just put out a release and say, there's nothing new. We're back tomorrow at our normal time. That's what I'm just saying. Some professionalism, some cadence, something to at least give the sheen of transparency.
Don, I think you're exactly right when you say where there's a vacuum of information, the vacuum is going to be filled. We see this in every case. There's going to be early on, there's going to be misinformation. The question is, why has the misinformation captured the narrative? I think you're right to point the question back at the state. The state actually has resources to engage with the family. So you don't have to have a bad narrative about not speaking with the family for 72 hours or for a week, because you have a public liaison office. You have a public information office, a taxpayer-funded PIO officer who could set up daily meetings with the public, because we need information from the public, because this is an event attended by the public. People do have information. It's circling on the internet that is just a part of, or the early part of these investigations now. But when you have a sloppy and lethargic sheriff's office,
I ain't saying too much, y'all, right now, because, dog, they speaking for me. They speaking facts. Ain't too much to say when you got people speaking facts. That's why I'll show y'all quality videos.
Doing a piss poor investigation from the beginning, then you'll have online sleuths who say, hey, what about this information? What about this information? And that information will capture the narrative, but you do have to point the blame back at the state, the people that our taxpayers give resources to investigate and to handle this and to share with the public who has a vested interest in the outcome of this case, what's going on. And I want to slap back at the narrative. These are just some outside people who want information. This is the American public who have a right to this information, who have paid their taxes, and their resources have set up institutions designed to get them information quickly because we built transparency into our democracy.
Yeah. Lee, you want to say something? I mean, not Lee, Charles.
No, I saw someone say in the comments that, talking about the system, and people have sort of come at me in the past couple of days with the frustration with the system.
Last point.
And I want to impress upon our viewers that every one of us on this panel right now is a Black man. And every one of us has, in different capacities, seen the system not work for Black men. Seen the system have massive integrity gaps when it comes to justice and accountability on behalf of Black men. Nolan Wells is very much so our brother, our nephew, our son. And I can speak for, I believe, all three of us in saying that we absolutely are as invested as anyone outside of his family can be, to the highest extent, in finding out the truth and wanting to see accountability and transparency in this case.
Facts.
Do not get it confused and believe that because we are prompting the integrity of the system in this manner, that we do not understand what's at stake here. But I need people to understand the other side to how this works. Because God forbid that we were to change the color of the victim and who we suspect, we would also want transparency of the process.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other part that people aren't necessarily considering. That adhering to the process must allow us to make the process work both ways, both for victim and for offender. And so Lee talked about the idea that if it were the other way around, that we would likely see an aggressive rush to an arrest. Well, the importance of transparency in the process is that if that ever were to be the case, that we have precedent that we can point to and demand the same type of transparency and thoroughness in terms of the process before that aggressive type of decision is made. And so looking at this, appreciating the severity and the impact that it may have on Nolan Wells and his family, but also looking at the bigger picture and the implication that it could have for other Black boys, both as victims potentially and as suspects, requires that we really do put our foot down and demand a transparent process that has integrity.
Charles, Lee, you guys are G's, man. I appreciate you, both of you, coming on. It's good to. It's been a while, Lee.
All right, that's all. Next video before we move off of this topic, because I just want to go ahead and get to the facts. Get to the facts. Rev Sharp, can you come into the front of the congregation, please? Got to hear from you.
The evidence that is needed to build on is already there. Have they brought these three young men in for questioning under oath? Have they gone through a search of fingerprints and other things on the cell phone? Either they are doing policing or they're doing covering up.
Are there any unanswered questions you think investigators still need to answer?
I think they need to answer why they didn't go get the phone and the keys. Why did it have to be his father run it down? I think they have to answer why they immediately said there was no foul play. I think they have to answer, have they interrogated the three young men? I think they have to answer where there's a reported video of the young men and him being Nolan arguing. and he said something about his freaking phone. Well, what is on that tape? What are they arguing about? And how did you not question them about the argument? There's a lot of things that law enforcement would have to answer.
Do you think race will play a role in the outcome of this case?
I do not know that race played a role, but I do not know race did not play a role. You got to look at the possibility of racism at different levels. One, were any of the three guys racist? All right. Two, were the prosecutors and the enforcement when the body was found? Is there a racial double standard there? Many of us feel that there were three black guys and a white kid was missing, they would have held them probably in custody and certainly had them seriously under scrutiny on if it was the reverse, in our opinion. But the family has said they don't want to say race, but they don't want it taken off the table. How do we know? Unfortunate part is with this present administration in Washington, Donald Trump, you can't even say, as we've said historically, whether it was from Abner Louima in the 90s to George Floyd a couple of years ago, we'll go get the feds. You can't get this Justice Department. What we can do, though, is go to state court and sue and depose these young men on what they were doing.
I haven't seen our president really speak out about this. Do you think that this is something that he should be speaking out on?
Hell no. I think that if it was another community and another situation, he would have been up in the middle of the night on Truth Social writing about it. But I won't say that I think he should say something, because given what he would say, I don't think it would be helpful.
Yeah, Trump just got to sit this one out. We ain't trying to hear from him. Not even gonna lie to you. Trump got to sit this one out. But everything that he's saying is very factual. We got to get to the root of the problem. And the root of the problem, the only way we're going to get there is if we get answers. This investigation is ongoing. This investigation is still at its beginning, right? When the autopsy report comes back, that is what really will either blow this case wide open or answer a few more of our questions. Nolan Wells, man, at the end of the day, rest in heaven, baby. Rest in heaven. Because this is crazy. This is crazy. Because the thing is, with this case, this is either going to light the system on fire or it's going to simmer down the narrative. You understand that? It's going to light the system on fire or simmer down the narrative. But either way you slice it, this story right here is just beginning. Just now growing legs. You will see. We will see what happens. It's a lot of misinformation out there. It's a lot of false information out there. It's a lot of information that we don't know whether it's true or whether it's false. I get that. We all get that. Was race a factor? I don't know. But was it not? I don't know. The only way we're going to know is when we start to really weave out all the misinformation. Weave out what this person's saying, that person's saying. And just break it down to the facts, to the core facts, and what is really going on. But now, it's going to get interesting, man. I pray we get answers. I pray that, at the end of the day, justice, regardless of whatever kind of justice it is, justice prevails. But, dog, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough. But we got to pray for Nolan Wells at the end of the day and pray for the family. Keep them in your prayers. Only time I'm going to tell. So no need to continue to speculate. No need to say this. No need to say that. You know, they saying that, man, it's a lot of people saying a lot of stuff out here. But that's my update for y'all. Nolan Wells' mom met with the DA. They basically said they gonna start giving updates. Huff Peoples, Crump, and their attorneys, so her attorneys, the family's attorneys of Nolan Wells, basically said, we're going to tag team this thing with the cellular device. Y'all going to be present when we go through his phone, and we're going to be present when we go through his phone. So that way, no misinformation can come from that. Because I believe that phone might reveal a lot of interesting details about what really happened. And like I said, man, we going to see. Only time will tell, man. We don't know what happened. The media detectives. Slow down. All the media detectives. Slow down. Slow down. We don't need y'all doing this and doing that. We don't. But you got ICE out here killing people. Because within 9 days, there's been 2 fatal shootings. Within 9 days. Within 9 days. ICE out here. Boy, I ain't going to even comment on it. We're going to let that be. But Nolan Wells. I pray your family gets answers. I pray that things work out in your favor. Because at the end of the day, you deserve to get justice. Regardless of whatever happens. Regardless of whatever happens. But moving on. All right. Y'all ready for these sports topics? I know we've been talking about Nolan. I know we have. But it's time to get down to the nitty-gritty. It's time to get down to where LeBron going. He's going to Miami. He going back to the Sunshine State. Or he going home to Cleveland? Or is he going to the Golden State Warriors? Well, you know something? KD wanted to chime in. Let's hear what Kevin Durant, had to say about Bron.
Where do you think LeBron ends up?
That's the $1 million question I wish I knew.
In your heart of hearts, what do you think, honestly?
In my heart of hearts, if I had to choose one,
Yeah.
I would say Cleveland. But I think Philly got a big chance too.
I'm waiting for the day where you two play together. That'd be crazy.
Well, you're going to be waiting for the rest of your life.
Wouldn't that be cool, though?
We're both 40 years old, man.
No, you're not. You're a young 36.
I'm 38. 37.
How old do you feel, though? 38. I want to see 2 40-year-olds play together, for real.
That would be sick, right?
That'd be awesome.
Him and Steph. They go to States in the two.
What if that happens?
Wow. Either way it goes, it's going to be a movie.
Movie, no matter what.
I agree. Got a lot of left.
I totally agree. You're the man. I appreciate you, KD. Where do you think LeBron ends up?
KD, like, he going to go do what I did? Go try to win a chip with Curry? Shit, I won 2 with him. Let's see if Bron can get 1 too. Curry out here assisting careers. Curry out here throwing the ultimate assist. But if we being honest, would Golden State have won another ring if Kevin Durant didn't go to Golden State? Just saying. Guess we'll never know. But Kevin Durant, you think he going back to Cleveland? You know? He said, how old do you feel, Kevin? Kevin said, I'm 38. Want to see 2 40-year-olds play together. Kevin, you want Bron to come play with you? Nah, that's your arch nemesis, cuz. Your arch nemesis. Nah, not really, though. But yeah, dog. Yeah, dog. Yeah. It's about to get serious out here, bro. It's about to get serious out here. Because Bron, we got to know where you're going, big dog. Even Stephen A. His being himself. He interested in knowing. Hold on. I can't show too much of this. Hold on. Let me see. See if I can. Actually, that's perfect. We know where it's coming from. Y'all be all right. Let's get into it.
James, let me say this. I'm sick of this damn story. I'm sick of this damn story. I didn't say I was sick of him. But don't tell me that this brother don't like drama. Don't tell me he don't like suspense. Don't tell me that he ain't about marketing. It ain't that damn hard to make a decision. You know exactly where the hell you going, LeBron James. You know exactly where the hell you going. Like he's sitting there contemplating, what am I going to do? Am I going to go to the city of brotherly love? Am I going to go back to South Beach where I still have a crib? Or am I going home? We know you ain't trying to be in the Western Conference because you know your ass ain't going to win out there. Ain't no Ant-Man is that dude. LeBron James, let me tell y'all something right now. I know the brother from Akron, Ohio, but he been in Southern California sunshine. If LeBron James got a deal with cold weather again, it damn sure ain't going to be in Minnesota. It ain't going to happen. Let's stop it. Let's stop it. That winter there is different. He ain't doing as much as he loves Ant-Man. He ain't doing that to play with LaMelo Ball and Rudy Gobert.
And Rudy
Gobert. He ain't trying to do that. That ain't what he trying to do.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, that's a solid squad, though. Playing with the Timberwolves, with LaMelo Ball, Ant-Man, and Rudy. Solid.
Blame him. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you something right now. I've been on this earth a long time.
Have you, nasty?
I know I don't look it, damn it, but I have been.
Boy, you're lying.
And I'm here to tell you, let me be very, very clear. Winters in Minnesota is different. Winters in Minnesota is different. Okay? Let me be very, very clear. My damn nephew Josh, that brother ain't been to Minnesota. See, he talked to you about basketball and all of this and all that. He picks and chooses. He's worse than me. He ain't been to no damn Minnesota. He know how cold to get out there. He knows how cold to get out there. LeBron James ain't trying to go to no damn Minnesota. All right? Golden State, you ain't winning the Golden State. Steph Curry is phenomenal. The babyface assassin, the greatest shooter God ever created. We know this. Steve Kerr is an all-time great coach. We know this. Y'all know that also the Golden State Warriors have missed the playoffs the last 3 of the last 4 years.
Facts.
They ain't been winning. They ain't going to win now. Now, LeBron with Steph, that would be special. And if somehow, somewhere you got Anthony Davis against out of Washington, that would be a different story. Facts. But you ain't winning in Golden State with just LeBron and Steph when you got to go against Shea Butter and the crew in Oklahoma City and Wemby and the crew in San Antonio and Jokic and the crew in Denver. Even KD and the crew in Houston because they're going to have a point guard this year.
Facts.
Fred VanVleet is coming back.
You ain't telling a lot, Chad.
You ain't winning out west. Ain't going to happen. LeBron James is staying in the East. Now, you can bring up the city of brotherly love, but he ain't getting no credit for that. He go to the city of brotherly love. You know everybody going to be looking. Is Embiid going to be healthy? Is LeBron and JB going to vibe? Because Jaylen Brown didn't go to Philly to be somebody's number 3 option. What are we going to do? Relegate Maxey to a number 3 option? LeBron accepted being a number 3 option in LA after being a number 1 and number 2 option for the first 7 years there. He going to go to Philly openly accepting from jump being a 3rd option behind Maxey and JB? And what if Embiid is healthy? Come on now. Come on now. We know better than that. This is coming down to Cleveland and Miami. Cleveland and Miami. This is perspective and opinion and editorial driven. This is not reporting.
Yeah. So Steve Van makes a couple good points. I mean, Brian, we is tired of hearing this, dog. We definitely is tired of hearing this. Like at the end of the day, hey, we is tired of hearing this, man. But where you going, Brian? Where you going? Where y'all think Brian going, man? I got my money still on the 76ers. Dang, hold on. My bad, chat. My bad. But going back to Brian. Brian. I got my money. Oh, sure did. Hold on, bro. Hold on. Steve Kerr, he putting in his 2 cents. Steve Kerr, you want Brian to come out there, man?
How you guys doing?
Good. Hey, we need to get LeBron, man.
No, we need LeBron.
LeBron.
Oh, we got him.
Okay, that's good. And
Put that on Twitter.
okay, I got you.
Steve Kerr, he said, hey, homie said, hey, we need Brian. He said, hey, we got him. The Golden State Warriors. That's what Brian going? Brian going to the Golden State Warriors out. What y'all think? Maybe. Y'all got your money on the Golden State Warriors? Huh? Shams, come give us a report.
Because all the information for the most part is in. GMs, presidents, owners, they've all been heard from. They're continuing to have conversations with agent Rich Paul James. Because all the information for the most part is in. GMs, presidents, owners, they've all been heard from. They're continuing to have conversations with agent Rich Paul.
So they're saying the ballots are in. It's coming from Shams, dog. Shams saying the ballots are in. The ballots are in. So where you going, Shams? Let me show y'all the full clip. My bad. I ain't trying to shortchange y'all like that. Y'all know me better than that. All right, come on. Talk to me, Shams.
Ronnie Shams, we just heard Cavs coach Kenny Atkinson confirm their exciting pursuit of LeBron James. What are you hearing about timing of LeBron's decision?
MJ, every day LeBron James inches closer and closer to a decision. It's decision time for LeBron James because all the information for the most part is in. GMs, presidents, owners, they've all been heard from. They're continuing to have conversations with agent Rich Paul here this week as well. Players have also reached out to LeBron James to recruit him. And yes, all the voice notes have also been listened to. And rosters have been set around the league. The decks have been set. And the leading suitors have been Cleveland, Miami, Golden State, Philadelphia, and Minnesota. And what we know definitively is LeBron James has made it clear privately that he wants to go somewhere where he can compete for a championship, somewhere where he feels like he finds that happiness from a team environment and culture that he feels he can uplift. And the big thing here is this is not going to be a financially driven decision. So that gives LeBron James the ability to hear from teams that have the minimum, have other exceptions, have salary cap space as well, and also be allowed to take his time through this decision.
And yes, you've been taking your time, Bron. That's why, hey, bro. Hey, dog, we can't wait no more, bro. We can't wait no more, bro. You don't got to keep on dragging this out. You don't. But Steve Kerr, he's saying we got him. Steve Kerr saying, hey, we got him. You feel me? So it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to get real interesting. Like, come on, bruh. Come on, bruh. Brian, I know where you're going. You ain't fooling me. You ain't. The Golden State Warriors. Or the 76ers. The champion Sixers. That's what I should say. But, hey, we got to hear from what Draymond. Draymond said, hey, you know why we got him? Kerr said, you know why we got him? Because what that boy Draymond did. Oh, hold on.
He spoke about recruiting pitch for LeBron James on their golfing trip. Let's take a listen to what Dre and his recruiting pitch was.
And us being brothers, I'd be remiss if I don't take the opportunity to throw my pitch in there. You know, I'd be crazy if we're together for X amount of days and at no point am I like, yo, we need to chop it up. Like, what the hell's going on? What we doing?
Where you going, big dog?
And so there's that. Of course I did that. And of course, the pitch was crazy. Like, since I think I'm pretty decent at it. Does it change anything? Does it make anything happen? I don't know. I hope so. With the things that I shared in it, I believe it definitely is going to make the brain work a little bit.
Y'all remember that Kodak Black meme? I hope so. Look it up if you haven't seen it. Type in Kodak Black. I hope so. You'll thank me later.
You know, if I don't think there's a decision that's been made, but say if there was, it'll make you think twice about it, you know? And so that's that.
And today, according to Front Office Sports, multiple Western Conference executives expect LeBron James will sign with the Warriors over the Cavaliers.
Wow.
Joe, who been saying that, Joe?
Hey, yeah, I think I heard you utter that or something. You may have said something
Joe,
like that.
All things being equal, Joe, all things being equal, the Warriors make more sense than anybody. Because when LeBron James won championships, was he surrounded by? Shooters.
Yeah.
Battier, Rio,
Mike Miller,
Kyle Korver,
yeah,
J.R. Smith,
yeah,
guys that Danny Green, Caldwell Pope,
yeah,
guys that can knock down open shots. Who can knock down better open shots than one Stephen Wardell? Wardell Stephen Curry.
That's just one person. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about the Heat.
Oh, here he go.
Got Wiggins, right? You hear me?
Yeah.
You hear me?
You know he's 40% from three, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh?
Would you rather take? I tell you what, Ocho. Would you rather take Wiggins 40% from three?
Let me finish.
Okay.
We got Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah.
Another shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got Young Bull. We got
Davion Mitchell.
Huh?
Davion Mitchell.
Well, no, he the point, ain't he?
Yeah, he can shoot though. I mean, he okay. He ain't great.
God, Joe, y'all listen to me now when I'm talking now. You know, people be he and ha and thinking I'm lying. And I've been right all year long.
Yeah. Ocho, we know you be lying, dog.
We forgot about Ray Allen, Ocho. I mean, Joe and Ocho.
Yeah.
Oh, in Miami. Yeah.
Yes. Shooters. That's when he thrives at his best. He wants shooters around him because he knows the double team's going to come. And guess what? The double team doesn't come because they're attached to those shooters. Now he can get downhill more freely. Kevin Love revamped his game to become what? A shooter.
Facts.
People don't realize Kevin Love was 24 and 12.
Every night.
I don't think people realize just how great Kevin Love was. He was on a Hall of Fame trajectory with no championships in Minnesota, but he was 24 and 12.
Every night.
Kevin Love was getting 30 points and 20 rebounds.
Every night.
Kevin Love was him. He revamped this game because he realized that was what's best for the team. Very, very, very unselfish.
Yeah. Hey, you got a great point. When he's surrounded by those shooters, it makes everybody stay home.
Yeah.
And it opens up the floor.
Opens up the floor, and then, hey, you can't double team this guy, So you're going to give Bron a freeway to the lane, to the bucket. Boom. So LeBron needs shooters. Bron ain't going nowhere. Nowhere. Nowhere without some shooters. It's a fact. I wouldn't lie to you. I wouldn't. I always got to be honest with you. But let's continue. Oh, don't do me like that. Don't do me like that, y'all. There we go. My bad, y'all. Be patient. Don't blow me up, chat.
According to Stefon Diggs, the Heat are an option to sign Russell Westbrook, but only if LeBron doesn't come to Miami. Ocho, how do you feel about Russ being your second option if you don't sign Bron?
I mean, listen.
Hell no. That's a team full of nobody who can shoot. Motherfuckers gonna definitely be going to the basket, though. There's gonna be hella points in the paint at night when Giannis, Bam, and Russ. Bruh. Hey, that would be a hell of a team, boy. Everybody can drive. Everybody can, shoot around the basket, but ain't nobody gonna be hitting no jumpers, no jump shots, no nothing outside the mid-range. Outside the mid-range. So, Bron, it come down to you, big dog. It come down to you. It come down to you. You want some shooters? You want some big man? Or you want to ride up to the sunset in Cleveland? You go to Golden State / Olden State up in the West with them young gunners in OKC and San Antonio and Denver, you ain't, boy, at best, you're going to be 7 to 8 seed. The Warriors ain't made the playoffs in the last, 2-3 years or 3-4 years? 3 out of the last 4 years, they ain't made the playoffs. Ever since they won that chip, they ain't been back. Hey. Especially if y'all don't get AD. Oh, it's ugly. It's ugly. They don't get AD, LeBron is not going. Steve Kerr said, oh, we got him. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because if it's about a ring, LeBron want a ring, go ahead over there to Philly, to the championship Sixers. Want to sell some tickets? Go ahead down in Miami. You want to end your career and ride off to the sunset? Go ahead and take your butt to Cleveland. I'm coming home. You feel me? But those are 3 options, man. Miami. The championship Sixers. or Cleveland. I'm throwing Golden State in there, but only Golden State if they somehow get Anthony Davis. But tomorrow, LeBron making that decision. He making that decision. Brown, we know how you love drama. But at the age of 41, Bron, the fact that we still waiting on you to make this decision, that's crazy, big dog. That's crazy. Stephen Curry. You saw Draymond pitch. He ain't say too much, but you know Curry, that baby, the baby boy assassin, couldn't help but say something to Brian.
While we've got you here, let's talk a little bit about LeBron. There's no doubt that you guys have something special together. And you went on a podcast and you kind of like made a pitch, maybe to sway his direction, from what I've heard. What's the pitch?
Well, the Bay, we know how to win. It's beautiful weather, great golf. I know he's into that. But like you said, the USA experience that we had, the battles that we had over the years. We just know how to play basketball, and I think that he would enjoy, just the idea of what it means to finish your career the right way. He knows what he wants, and eventually he'll make that decision. It's totally up to him. But we're having fun with it, knowing that he's got his pick of the entire league, like wherever he wants to go. To be honest,
I don't know. There was a good pitch. Did you hear anything back? Is there anything we should know?
I came here to break some. No. We'll let him take care of that for sure.
Come on. Got to break the news, big dog. Got to talk to us, Curry. Do you know? Do you know? Do you know where Brown is headed? Because at this point, Curry, hey, I hope you gave a hell of a pitch, man. Hope you gave a hell of a pitch. Even at the ESPYs. All right, this is our last Braun topic. This is the last one I'm going to show up, and then I'm going to shut up. But it's Braun, man. We got to know. We got to know, Braun. Where you going?
According to reporting from Shams Charania, the 76ers are just one of the teams with the best chance to win.
There's a list right there. There go that list. The Philadelphia Sixers. Ron, if you want a chip, you know where to go. These are the 5 teams I keep on telling y'all about. This is what's going on. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's going to one of these 5 teams. Bron, pick one. I told you. Number 1 on the list, Championship Sixers. Number 2 on the list, the Golden State Warriors. Number 3 on the list, home state, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Number 4, Miami. Number 5, the Timberwolves. Because honestly, even the if you went to the Timberwolves, that's random as hell going to Minnesota, but ain't shit in Minnesota, dog. Why would Brian go to Minnesota? I'm asking for a friend. Why would we go to Minnesota? He might as well just go to Miami. All right? But this is interesting, bro. Because wherever he go, there's going to be much watch TV besides if he take his ass to Cleveland or if he take his ass to Miami too. He go to the Sixers, I'm watching. He go to Golden State, I'm watching. He go to the Timberwolves, I'm definitely watching. He gonna be he the papa in the room with that young boy Ant and that young boy LaMelo Ball. He gonna be pops in the room. He gonna come in with his walker, kicking it. But nah, these ain't landing spots, man. Let me know in the chat where y'all think Brian going. Let me know in the chat right now. Stop playing. Blow up the chat. Where Brian going? Where is he disappearing to? Where we going, bro? Let me know so I can pack my bags. Nah, I ain't playing. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna cheer from you from a distance. I'm gonna admire the greatness from a distance. Yeah. Anyway. Where you going, bro? I just want to know. I just got to know. Got to. But in other news, we got to go ahead. We touched on them. We talked about it for a little bit. Now we got to talk about it a little bit more. All right. Brian, the decision is coming. I think you're going to make it tomorrow, but if you wait until Friday, I ain't going to be tripping. We're going to be on here. We're going to be covering it, and we're going to be talking about it. But LaMelo Ball will move back to shooting guard, his natural position, obviously. But LaMelo and Anthony Davis, dog, it's going to be crazy to watch, bro. It's going to be crazy to watch. Anthony Edwards is still young. Now he got a true point guard with LaMelo Ball who can create, who's a playmaker, and also, too, who can draw his own attention. You got to cover LaMelo. You got to cover Ant. You got to cover Rudy. Ain't no double teams. You ain't going to be able to double team Ant-Man no more and force him to give the ball up every time he's coming down the court. You ain't going to be able to double team him. Because now you got to space the floor a little bit. Because LaMelo can get in his bag. Ant-Man can get in his bag. Two superstars. It's going to get interesting, man. Let's hear what Big Perk. Let's see what he had to say about Ant-Man. And let's hear what he had to say about that boy LaMelo Ball. And is this the new duo in the league that's going to take it off?
The two teams out west right now that you could put ahead of the Minnesota Timberwolves, and that's the San Antonio Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder. But they're right there knocking at the door. The one thing that I've been begging and we've been wanting for Anthony Edwards is a young, true point guard. And that's what LaMelo Ball is. When it comes to pushing the pace, setting the tone, we saw what he did for Con Knippel last year for the Charlotte Hornets. And we know that Anthony Edwards over the last 2 or 3 years has been one of the best three-point shooters in the game. I'm looking at these two, and right now, today, they're the best backcourt in the NBA. And I don't give a damn what all the narrative is, the narratives out there about LaMelo Ball and all this. That man is a true professional. That man wants to win, and that man is a straight hooper. And him going to that culture that Anthony Edwards, Jay McDaniels, and Coach Finch has built over there is going to do wonders for him. Now he's put in position where he has expectations to win and to play for something. He's going to show up and show out.
Facts. Because I forgot about that boy Jaden Daniels, too. That boy killing himself, too. Man. Hey. That boy killer, too. That boy power forward. Just, coming into his own. Averaging 14 and about 4, 5, 6. If Jaden McDaniels can take that next step with the team, with Rudy Gobert already being who he is, you know, Rudy Gobert kind of getting up there in age, but he's still balling, still a baller. But if he can come along to the party, oh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. That boy LaMelo Ball going to continue getting in his bag, and he's going to go crazy. So we're going to see what these pieces can do. We're going to see what the Minnesota Timberwolves can do. Ant-Man, you the leader. LaMelo, you coming into the situation, you're going to have to be a leader because now it's expectations on you, big dog. Like, come on now. Like, come on. Minnesota Timberwolves. You wanted to keep your superstar Ant-Man happy. This is keeping him happy. This is keeping him happy. Ant-Man be putting up 30, 30, 30 all the time. 30, 30, 30. Hold on. Actually, let me show y'all this stat and statistic real quick before we move on. Let me show y'all this stat and statistic because Ant-Man is really like that, if we being honest. Don't play with him. And now you got LaMelo to that team where they got to guard him. They got to make sure that they own him like white on rice. Come on, man. Let's talk about it.
So what would a second-round loss mean for Ant-Man? Been to 2 straight Western Conference Finals, and now a second-round loss. What would that mean for Ant-Man, J. Will?
18, 30 points.
It wouldn't mean anything for him. What? Because he lost in the second round? Because he lost in the second after he hyperextended his knee. Have any of y'all hyperextended your damn knee?
No.
I have. Have y'all seen that? Do you know what Giannis went through?
So this is an old clip, but I just wanted to show that. 30 points in a playoff game in Timberwolves history. 17 other players all together put up over 30. Anthony Edwards put up 30 over 18 times. How old is Ant-Man? How old is Ant-Man? Somebody tell me. Let me know in the chat. Or y'all want me to tell you? Ant-Man, dog. Dog. That boy. That boy only 24. LaMelo Ball. That boy only 24. These boys young. And the sky's the limit for him. And the sky's a fucking limit for him. So if LaMelo can grow into his own, become a winner, Ant-Man can continue to be a winner, I'm putting him in the Western Conference Finals. I'm putting him in competing for the Western Conference Finals. Ant-Man is like that. Yes, you're going to have to go against Denver probably. Yes, you're going to have to go see OKC, definitely. But we got Ant-Man. He already been there. That boy just now finna enter his prime. He been in his prime a little bit, but he finna enter his prime. Dog, he's finna get scary out here. Finna get spooky. Promise you that. Promise you that. That's what the Ant-Man, though. Got a lot of faith in you, big dog. A lot of faith. I want you to excel. I want you to kill it. I want you to dominate. Period, point blank. Do what the hell you got to do. Prove the doubters wrong. Show up and show out. Time and time again. Hardest working dudes. Sometimes got to kick his ass out the gym. Facts. Facts. So, at the end of the day, it's cool. It's cool. That's sort of Ant-Man, bro. Because LeBron, if Philly didn't get Jaylen Brown, he definitely would have probably went to Minnesota. But the fact that Philly got Jaylen Brown, got to go to the 76ers if you want that chip. Can you win a chip with Golden State Warriors? I don't know. I don't. But only time will tell. Only time will tell. For real, though. For real, it's a fact. It's a fact. SO to Anthony Edwards. SO to LaMelo Ball. I'm interested, and I can't wait to fucking watch y'all ball this year. Facts. 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 Like, if I'm for real being honest, it's a fact. It's a fact, dog. It's a fact. But that boy, Stefon Diggs, he been talking spicy. That boy Stefon Diggs saying ain't nobody can play with him. Ain't nobody messing with him. Ain't nobody on his level. And let's hear about it. Unc, can you break the news for me, big dog? Because I tried to find a clip, but I couldn't find it. But I know y'all got it, so let's talk about it.
Free agent Stefon Diggs says he's the best wide receiver number 2 in the NFL, and no one is better than him. Name your number 2 receiver right now, and is he better than me? Ocho? Is there a number 2 receiver better than? There are a couple.
Want to lose? Definitely a couple number 2 receivers better than Stefon Diggs. Higgins, the name one. That's a fact, right off rip. Higgins, facts. Who else? Hold on, Higgins. I can't even think. Higgins. Hold on. My bad. All right, let me let him through. I'm just gonna let him off, and then I
name your number 2 receiver right now, and is he better than me? Ocho? Is there a number 2 receiver better than? There are a couple.
I mean, yeah, it's a couple. We
Dallas got one. Whoever you say is
Dallas. So T Higgins, because you got CD Lamb number 1, T Higgins number 2. Dallas, CD Lamb, and George Pickens. George Pickens number 2. Philly, because they had AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, but now they gone. Well, AJ Brown gone. Dang. It's a few, bro. It's a few, but it's not many though. Let's hear what Ocho had to say.
Is one, the other 2 is better than Stefon. Cincinnati, whoever you say is one is better than him.
Minnesota.
The Rams.
Minnesota. Who's Minnesota number 2 besides Justin Jefferson? Puka Nacua with the Rams, and then our boy. Okay, it's a few. But he up there though. He at least top 10. Oh, my bad, y'all. What the? They pulling up, they chatting everything. Oh, they taking it to wise. Come on, what we doing? Y'all on YouTube to really get me up out of here, man.
Hold on, now what he said has truth to it now.
Yeah. I'm just saying, as you go a team that their number 2 is better than him.
Right. As you go a bit further and you get a little deeper into some of these other teams. Like he would be a bona fide. Their number 2 is not better than him. And
for sure.
And he's right. Even coming off an ACL injury and having 1,000 yards, and I'm not sure how many touchdowns he has.
Yes.
Now, if they're going to use him, you take their number 2 and you put him in that place, you're still going to get the same production based on what he's able to do.
Hell, I think he'd be good in Baltimore. Hell, I'm not so sure what you call him is better than him.
What did I say? What did I say he would go?
BMO.
Give it a chance. Either Baltimore or the Commanders. I'm still standing on that too now.
Hell, he'd be good in Cleveland.
Hey, you know what? That's a good one.
Might be even better.
That's a good one.
Cleveland. Hey, what's your door? Give us your door.
That's a good one.
Give us your door.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear what the chat has to say, especially outside of Dallas. Dallas,
Definitely
Cincinnati, Minnesota, Rams.
That's about it.
Well, we have in Philly. Limited. He's not proven yet, but he will be the number 2. I'm trying to think who else.
Yeah,
there's truth to that.
Yeah, there's definitely truth to it. Stefon Diggs think he one of the best number 2 wide receivers in the league still at 30 plus. Yeah, that's a fact. That's what the Stefon Diggs, man. Because it's definitely a fact. I said it's definitely a fact. It's definitely a fact. But anyway, man, I do got a few more topics I got to hit on, but I got some stuff that I got to prepare for. I got some stuff that I got to do. Lamar Jackson was the next topic that I wanted to hit on. Lamar Jackson being ranked from number 2 all the way to number 69. He gonna make y'all pay for that. Going from the number 2 best player in the league all the way to number 69, and this was voted on by your peers. So the top 100 NFL players, they voted. They took a poll, randomly in whatever order. Lamar Jackson came at number 69 after coming in number. What number did he come in at? I think he came in at number 2 last year. Now he's number 69. He had a bad season, man. Up and down, injured. But Lamar Jackson still Lamar Jackson. 2-time MVP. 30 touchdowns easily. 10 plus rushing touchdowns easily in the season. He's him. Anonymous MVPs. He's him. But got a lot of redemption to prove, my guy. A lot of stuff to come back from. But regardless, all right, we've been streaming for 2 hours. I got stuff to do. Got to go get ready to go ahead. Pow, pow. I'm just playing. But no, I got to go take care of some business, though. But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all truly and dearly. It's been fun. It's been real. Really what it come down to, even with, dang, I really wanted to hit on that Lamar Jackson topic real quick. Yeah, man. Y'all want me to say, let me know in the chat. Y'all want me to say a little longer? Can we talk about it? And then I was going to hit on Stefon Diggs and that whole thing a little bit more, but it is what it is, bruh. It is what it is. But you got people saying they selling their stock on Lamar Jackson because last year in 2025, he was ranked number 2. Now, Lamar Jackson, what? Now Lamar Jackson, what? Now Lamar Jackson, what? 69? Hey, that's what hey, 69. Hey. Y'all some freaks, boy. Watch out, man. But yeah, that's Lamar Jackson, though, man. That's to him. Because this ain't going to go over well. Lamar Jackson drops how many spots? He dropped over, 67 spots? Holy shit. That he had an up and down season. He was hurt. I still would say he's definitely top 20 still in the league, regardless of whatever season he had last year. But it's based from season to season. Top 100 player in the league last year. He was number 69. It'd be like that. Now, without a head coach, new offensive coordinator, whole new system that you're learning over there. Lamar Jackson, you got to have a big year this year. The head coach and Todd Monken, or not head coach. Yeah, the head coach and Todd Monken and John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh in New York now. Todd Monken, the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Under them two, you won 2 MVPs. Made it to the playoffs multiple years. But you never got over the hump. Can you get over the hump with the new coach? New head coach, new offensive regime with a fresh start. How will you play this season? Can you remain healthy the whole season? Who knows, man? Will you be a one-hit wonder? A man, no way. He was a talented quarterback, but he couldn't really stay healthy, couldn't get over the hump, couldn't make it to the Super Bowl. Because that's what we need from you, Lamar. We need you to make it to an AFC championship game. We need you to make it to a Super Bowl. You make it to a Super Bowl, hey, you stand. Your legacy is forever cemented. You're a Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer. You make it to a Super Bowl, whether you win or lose it. But hey, we shall see. Only time will tell. But last topic of the day, y'all. I got to run. Got a blast. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, man. Before we get out of here, make sure you send this to your mommy, your daddy, your best friend, another friend, little Johnny, little Timmy, and don't forget about little Susie, too. Make sure you send this over her, too. Show some love. All right, send this to everybody. All right? Show me some love, just like I show you some love. All right, hit the chat. Hit that follow button. Hit that like button. All right, don't forget about little Susie. You got to make sure you send this to her, too. But stop being selfish, man. Stop keeping all these gems to yourself. You know you can't be doing that. All right, but send this to everybody. I love you. I appreciate you in advance. And, hey, thank God for you. I thank God for you. Keep grinding. Keep rising. And keep going after the things you want. You're on your way, and you're going to get everything that you deserve in this world. I just need you to keep going. I just need you to keep putting in work, and I just need you to keep putting one foot in front of the other. Yeah, just like that. Nah. Straight like that. Nah. Yo, like that. Dale says, I love you, and I appreciate you. And guess what? I will see you soon.
Hey, we live now, really.